Hi, my name's Rhonda Gessner, and I want to welcome you guys to this evening's webinar. I just want to make sure I didn't forget to push any of these buttons. Okay, we are recording. I want to make sure I record this. We're going to have a special guest at the end that has just been using Kangen water now for 30 days. But he had some pretty serious health issues, and we're going to have him share at the end. And last time we had him share, I had forgotten to hit the record button, so I didn't want to do that again. Anyway, wow, we have a good group here tonight. I want to welcome everyone to the webinar. For those of you that don't know us, my name's Rhonda Gessner. I guess I already said that. My husband Ron is also on the webinar with us. If you have any questions or any problems as we go along, make sure you type them in the chat box. Hopefully you can see where that is. If the screen freezes or you're having any trouble with the volume, or if you have any questions, just go ahead and type them into the chat box, and Ron he'll be there to help you out. But I do want to welcome everyone. I see we have some of our good Kangen water distributors on the webinar. Bill Cox is another distributor, and Kathy Weaver. Darren Barnes is on here with us. I don't think I know Darren. Gary Protenick. Lily Kendrick is a dear friend from Connecticut. She's another Kangen water distributor. And Marcus Baker. We have Bruce and Melinda McNaughton. They're our dear friends from Connecticut. I don't know how snowed in they are, but at least they're able to get on the webinar. Maria Alicia, Michael O'Dyer, Michelle Franklin. Wow, we have quite a crew on here tonight. Another dear friend of ours, Patricia McKeever, is one of our distributors from South Dakota. Pat O'Connor from Bermuda, sunny, warm Bermuda. We're back here, Pat, where it is freezing. I don't think it's supposed to get above freezing for this entire week. So we're really looking forward to that cruise to Bermuda coming up in May. Sam Michaels, and I believe this is the Sam Michaels, who is also a very dear friend. We got to meet him at a Kangen water event in Virginia. He has an amazing testimony. Sharon Scott, another distributor from Bermuda, and Sybil Spicer. I hope I didn't miss anybody. There were more and more people popping on here. Oh, Michelle Franklin, I don't think I mentioned her. And I don't know all of you, would love to get to know all of you. So if we're not friends on Facebook, make sure you send a friend request. I don't know, hopefully I didn't miss anybody. It's hard to keep scrolling through here. But anyway, I just want to thank you guys for taking time this evening to spend with Ron and I. I am going to do my best to get through my part in the next 45 minutes. I want to just take a couple minutes here in the beginning to share with you guys why we are doing this. We are so passionate about Kangen water, and there's a very good reason. In 2010, wow, almost 5 years ago now, Ron was diagnosed with liver disease. And the picture that you see on the screen right now that you should see, make sure you type in to the chat box if for some reason you can't see it, but you should see a picture of Ron and I with Mr. and Mrs. Oshiro. And yeah, don't they look amazing? Mr. and Mrs. Oshiro are the amazing couple that own the Kangen Water Company. And believe it or not, they are in their early 70s. Mr. Oshiro is 73. Actually, he'll soon be 74, and they just look amazing. Wow. Anyway, Ron was diagnosed with liver disease in 2010. He ended up in the hospital with severe swelling. And when we arrived at the hospital, we thought we were going for something minor. Honestly, we both thought that, maybe he just was retaining some fluid, but, we didn't think it was that serious. But because of the amount of fluid that he was retaining, the doctors told us it was either heart, liver, or kidney. And so they started running a bunch of tests, and they came back and said that it was liver disease. From there, they sent us to a specialist, and the specialist did not give Ron a very good prognosis. They gave him 5 to 10 years based on the condition of his liver, and told us we need to get him on a liver transplant list. So, we were so devastated that day because we did not see this coming at all. It was just a pretty rough time for us, but the good news is Ron and I are both firm believers that God designed our body to heal itself. The challenge is it can be very, very challenging to get all the pieces of the puzzle in place to create the right environment and all the proper nutrition so that your body can heal itself. But we had that hope, because we knew that that's how God had originally designed our body. So once we got home from the hospital, we did go through, he went through a couple days of testing to be put on a transplant list. But I was frantically, is probably the best word, searching the internet to see if I could find anything and everything that I could find that might help him. Now, just to let you know, my background is in nutrition. I was a distributor for a vitamin company for almost 20 years back in the 80s and 90s. So I had some knowledge of things that we should be doing that we weren't doing. So we did start to clean up our diet. And when I was researching on the internet, I want to share with you an article that I came across that was absolutely life-changing for us. And I know it's been life-changing for thousands of other people. So I'm going to pull that up here on the screen. Dr. Otto Warburg was given the Nobel Prize in 1931 for discovering the root cause of cancer. And I still remember when I first saw this article, I was totally blown away. I could not make sense of this. If this doctor got the Nobel Prize, now that's a pretty big deal. Not many people ever get a Nobel Prize for discovering the root cause of cancer. It just, I thought, what in the world? If they know the cause of cancer, why is the Cancer Society, the American Cancer Society, still out there collecting money trying to find a cure? If we know the cause, if you eliminate the cause, you should be able to figure out, how to correct this whole problem. What I didn't realize at the time was just how powerful the pharmaceutical industry is, and what big business cancer is, and that unfortunately the pharmaceutical industry doesn't want us to know that there are answers out there. This is crazy that information like this should be on every news channel and the front page of every newspaper, instead of allowing people every day to be dying from cancer. So when I went on to read this article, basically what it says, and you can Google this for yourself, what it says is that Dr. Otto Warburg discovered and proved that not only cancer, but no disease can exist in an alkaline body, but they thrive in an acidic body. Well, I was so excited when I understood this, because I realized we have to figure out how to get Ron's body alkaline like yesterday. So, and it's funny, with all the 20 years of being in the vitamin business, nobody ever talked about pH and how that affected your health. So the first thing I did is I looked up alkaline foods and I found this very cool food chart. And if any of you want any of these documents, I can easily email them to you, so just let us know. Um, anyway, we started, looking at this food chart and discovered that mostly fruits and vegetables are alkaline. Meat, dairy, and your processed foods are acidic. Well, like most other Americans, we were eating a very acidic diet, drinking acidic beverages, had no idea the correlation between that and our health. So we started following this food guide because what I learned was that 80% of your diet should be alkaline and no more than 20% acidic. Well, we were doing the complete opposite, and so are most Americans. And then wondering why we're all sick. And then the other thing that happened right around the same time, a friend of mine called, and we know, there is no doubt in our minds that this was an answer to prayer because it's a friend, kind of actually more of just an acquaintance, somebody that I only talk to a couple times a year. She lives 3 hours away, and she called and said, well, first of all, I was telling her about Ron, his diagnosis, what I was learning about pH, how excited I was about this information. And she told me that she had this Japanese medical device sitting on her kitchen counter that made alkaline water. And then she reminded me that our body is 75% water. Well, it had been a very long time since I was in school. I'm 56 years old, so I completely forgot that our body is 75% water. I mean, the first thing I did was look up alkaline foods. I didn't think about water. But when she said it, it just was one of those light bulb moments when it's common sense. And I think today, so many times when it comes to our health, we are looking for some complex, complicated answer, and we're missing it when it's right in front of our nose. It's just a common sense thing. God designed our body to heal itself, and it's been proven that your body can heal itself if you're slightly alkaline. Add to that, our body's 75% water. I could probably just end the webinar here, but I won't. I want to make sure you understand the 3 unique properties of Kangen water. Okay, so when Jan said that she had this medical device that made this alkaline water, she agreed to drive halfway and meet us, and so we did that, and she brought us 8 gallons of Kangen water, and that was in April of 2010. Well, we were so excited. The more we learned about the company, we really started doing our homework because we knew this was not a cheap it wasn't a cheap machine. And, we wanted to make sure we were doing the right thing. But the more we learned about the company and the more people we talked to, the more excited we got. And we knew we had to have a Kangen water machine. So we got our machine. I mean, it was just a matter, in less than 30 days, things really started to turn around. Ron got his color back. He got some of his energy back. And we got so excited that we just started sharing the water and the information that we learned with everybody and anybody that would listen to us. So, that's why we're here. I mean, over time, over a matter of months, that grew into a business for us. And now this is what we do. And we just absolutely love what we do. We are so passionate about sharing this information with people because it's not only been life-changing for Ron, it's been life-changing for thousands of people. And, it's just so exciting. And what I love the most is because we're 75% water, when we educate people about water and help them fix that piece of the health puzzle, it has a dramatic effect on their health. Because we're 3/4 water, it's much more of an impact than maybe making some tweaks in your diet or adding some supplements or things like that, which we totally believe in. I mean, we take good supplements, we eat an organic alkaline diet, we exercise, we do all these things, but the one that affects your health the most is water. So today, fast forward 5 years, Ron is doing amazing. He's run a couple of half marathons. He goes to the gym on average about 5 mornings a week. When people see him, they think he's a picture of health. And we just thank the dear Lord for answering our prayers with sending us this amazing machine from Japan. So I love sharing our story with you guys because this had nothing to do with a business for us. I mean, when Ron was so sick and in the hospital, the last thing on our minds was, oh, we need to go home now and start a business. We were just desperately out there searching for help. And thankfully, like I said, God answered our prayers. One other document I want to show you before we get into the PowerPoint is this acidity self-test. Oh, by the way, I didn't even say much more, but I did say Ron is doing amazing. For me personally, the only health problems I had was headaches. I got headaches about 2-3 times a week. The headaches went away within a couple of weeks. And the other thing that I really noticed was I have so much more energy. I had no idea. I would have never believed that water would give you the amount of energy that Kangen water does. So I'm so thankful for that. Okay, well, this document is called the Acidity Self-Test. It was taken out of a book written by Dr. Thomas Baruti. And as you can see here, I'll show you the book on the next slide. I think it's listed there. Anyway, I would encourage you, if you have never done this and you're not drinking Kangen water yet and you haven't made any changes to your diet, make sure you fill out this test. So I can email this to you and circle all the symptoms that you have. These are the beginning symptoms here, this first category of things that you'll experience if your body's too acidic. Keep in mind, we are all born alkaline. We die acidic. Well, maybe we won't now with Kangen water, but that's been the trend. And as you age and you're exposed to more and more things like processed food, acidic drinks, stress, what we're breathing, all of these things are making our bodies too acidic. And the more acidic you are, the sicker you're going to be. So anyway, there's beginning symptoms are fairly minor things like I had low energy, headaches, bloating. Let's see what else is on here. Hyperactivity, panic attacks. The intermediate, let me go here to the next slide. Intermediate symptoms: depression, asthma, earaches, urinary tract infections, colitis. So things are getting a little more serious now. And then look at these advanced symptoms: all forms of cancer, leukemia, Hodgkin's, Crohn's, MS. So you can see here, the more serious it gets as your body becomes more and more acidic. And here is on the slide, you can see now, I would highly recommend this book. The first 2 books I read, because you can only imagine, with a prognosis like Ron had received, and then I start seeing all these amazing changes because we changed our water mainly. I mean, we did do other things, but I got very, very intrigued about water. And the first two books I read was this one, Alkalize or Die by Dr. Baruti. And the other one was called You're Not Sick, You're Thirsty. And that's also written by a doctor. You can find these for a few dollars on Amazon. You can buy them used. The one, You're Not Sick, You're Thirsty, has nothing to do with Kangen water. That was written back before Kangen water was available. At least it was only available in Japan for many years. But anyway, he explains in that book, and it is absolutely amazing, what